Thank you for watching Comedy at the Creek podcast, brought to you by Country Creek Reception Hall. I'm your host, Jason Pierpont. Today's guests are Eli Klinger and Billy Chapman. Okay, right here at Comedy at the Creek, we've got Billy Chapman and Eli Klinger. Thank you guys very much for coming on and doing the podcast, and very much for coming on and doing the show. I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm so excited to have you back, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
This is great. And now that I know you can come back, as long as I don't screw everything up, I've heard tons and tons of great things about this show, and my poor wife travels and follows for years now, and she says, "Where the hell is this place?" And I said, "It's kind of near Lansing and Eaton Rapids and 99. She goes, "What's 99? I said, "It's a highway, sort of." Come on, let's go. So, I'm glad to be here. This is going to be fun.
Well, you were saying before we got started that you're originally from Jackson, Michigan, right? So, so you know the area pretty well, probably running around.
Yeah, this is, we did a lot of country cruising back in the early 70s with our $75 Ford low rider.
Yeah, but you used to be able to put $2 in gas in it and be good for probably the rest of the week.
Huh? Yeah. I have a bit that we talk about. It's basically $2 a quarter tank of gas and a bag of weed. And when you're bored and you're high in Jackson, and your friend says, "Hey man, let's go to Chicago Blues Fest." I'm like, "Sammy, we have $2, quarter tank of gas and a bag of weed. We're not going anywhere." He says, "Let's hop the train."
No doubt.
Son of a bitch, hop. We were stoned out of our minds. He starts running. He hops on the train like he's dangling, and his feet are hitting the railroad ties. And now we're busting. We're so high we can't stand it. He gets on the train, and by that time we're out of breath. We wave. Sammy just disappears into the night. Train didn't slow down until I got to Battle Creek. That's where he jumped off.
Holy shit!
Had to pay, collect call from a payphone to get his mom and dad to come pick him up.
Even back then, if you would have got caught doing something like that, you probably would have just got smacked around for a minute and sent home.
Oh yeah.
Like you're a little bit younger than even me, and he's obviously a little bit older.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the shit that we did, because you entertained yourself some way, somehow.
Yeah.
And nothing. I mean, it's payphones or house phones. So when we left him, we just said, "Well, we got $2. Let's go to the burrito place in downtown, and we'll split a $2 burrito between three of us because Sammy's gone." We didn't tell his parents. We just went home.
Yeah, he's on his own.
You ever get stoned and hop a train to Chicago?
Can't say I have, but I'm going to now.
It sounds like a lot of fun, though.
Oh, yeah. You really sold me on it.
Right. Nowadays, you get arrested for that. You go to prison for probably 5 years for all sorts of felonies and misdemeanors.
It's crazy. So, Eli, what's happening, man?
Not a whole lot.
We had a fun time in Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson was fun. I'm actually hosting that one later this month, so that'll be fun.
I got to get back there because, Tom says you have to get on that show organically. And I said, "Dude, what the hell is organically?" He says, "Somebody has to throw your name in the hat." And I'm like, so I just start calling people randomly.
Just be like, "Hey,
dude, throw my name in a hat."
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure that somebody threw my name in a hat not too long ago from what I heard through the grapevine. So shout out to Tom Buck for the Sad Clown Comedy Show, which is on the 28th, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's coming up on the 28th, and Eli here is the host of it, so that's pretty cool.
That's at the Music Box, Jackson, Michigan. Get there now.
Yeah, shout out to Tom Buck. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I seen that. I seen the ode to Eli that he played the other day on Facebook.
Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I teared up a little bit.
It was such a beautiful song.
I know he had that talent in him.
Yeah. He was on. Actually, tune in. I haven't had it done yet because I'm a lazy piece of shit. But I've got this podcast, and then the last podcast we actually had Tom Buck and Justin Hicks was back. So I got to get that mixed down so everybody out there. I promise I'll have the podcast mixed down here.
Right.
Probably at the end of this weekend. So I'll have those out. So check them all out. They're all out on YouTube. So how did you get hooked up with him with the Sad Clown Show? Just being friends with him, and he said, "Hey."
Yeah, because actually we met each other at this show, the first one we did here.
Okay. Oh shit, no doubt.
Yeah, that's actually how we started talking. So after that, we just started hanging out more, and then he started it, and he told me all his crazy ideas for it, and then I was just hanging around there last month, and the previous host Rio, I know Rio too, and he picked me for the next one. So it's the host picks the next host, and then the other comics pick the other comics for the thing.
Good. When I first found out about that whole idea, I was like, that is actually a really, really good idea.
I'd never heard of it, so I just went with it. I'm like, okay, I got to get on there.
So do you actually know which comic was it that threw your name in the hat?
Yeah, we kind of traded spots because now he's doing a show for me. Gosh, I can't remember his name right off. He's doing a November show for us.
Okay.
It's him and Tim Locke and a couple other people from around Ann Arbor and Detroit. But he says, let's. I'd love to do one of your shows. And I said, all right, bro, let's do it. I hooked up with him again down in Hamtramck. Something I would never do, ever. But it's kind of a rumble, kind of a 1 minute. They throw a topic out, and they just start snapping them out. And you have 1 word response, 3 word response, a phrase response.
Wow.
Dude, I had the best time of my life. I'm telling you, a girl named Stephanie Ann runs that in Hamtramck. She's the Downriver Diva, and they call it the Diva Cup. And it's at crazy downtown Hamtramck, Trixie's Bar.
Okay.
And, man, it was a ball. It was Ned Rice was there. Ned crushed him.
Yep, Ned was here.
Yeah.
Ned was here. We had a lot of fun with him. I met him through Canton Brew Works. Went down there and did the open mic at Canton Brew Works.
Yep, I got to get out there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Beer was good.
Yeah, I got to get out there.
But let's talk about a little bit about your show. And we were talking about it a little bit before we got fired up on the podcast. But when did you start that up?
Probably in kind of a little bit before the pandemic was over. And we'd been locked out. It was horrible. I mean, all of a sudden we were all having fun. We're all doing gigs. It was one big happy family of, hundreds of comedians. And then pandemic hit, boom, nothing. 3 days in, people are doing Zoom shows. I'm like, you got to be.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I did 1, and I said, well, I got to do 2 just to make sure it doesn't suck as much as I think it does.
Yeah.
And it did. And so I invited whoever comics to come out to my house, middle of January, snowing, got a fire, I got an amplifier, I got a speaker, and I got a bike light for a spotlight. 40 comics showed up, entertained 4 of my neighbors for 4 hours.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, huh. So I started hitting bars. As soon as they were letting 25% capacity, my wife and I just started hitting people up. And boom, we got the first one. 25 capacity, I think at that bar was probably around 30 people. We had 112 people in the bar.
Wow.
And I'm looking at the manager going, and he's going, do it. Let's just
keep
do
rolling.
This. And the next one kept rolling, and by the time we rolled through the first 4 or 5 shows, I think it was up to 100% capacity, but still wearing masks. I mean, it was crazy at the beginning because it was the end of 20, beginning of 21. And then, we just been doing it because I knew we were going to be short. Not enough stages because the comedy clubs per se, they weren't opening at all. Like one night stands, Ridley's, none of them.
I bet, yeah.
I'm going, so this is what we have. And yeah, we've done 71 shows in 2.5 years, and it's been out of control.
That is great.
Yeah.
So it's always been at the same place. That's the Irish Tavern.
No,
right?
we do Irish Tavern Waterford. We do Irish Tavern Madison Heights.
Oh, so there's multiple Irish taverns. I didn't actually know that.
And then we do Prime 7, another place in Commerce Township. And then we do Pat's Barn in Romulus. It's a private club.
Okay.
And so we have 4 venues, and I think that's about enough. Because we do shows every 2 weeks, year after year. And except this year we're taking a month off. So
Okay.
we won't go back again until July 28th. But yeah, it just kind of met, and people, I'm getting clips and emails like out of control.
Yeah.
And I still kind of work. And my wife still kind of works, but she keeps a good tab on who's doing what show. Is that a paid show? Is that a ticketed event? And she tries to figure in her mind if we can afford any of these headliners. And I said, well, we can't.
Yeah.
So the bottom line
I
is
hear
you
you.
just ask.
Yeah.
And we've been early shocked, that it's always been about the minutes. Always has been about the minutes. I mean, when I get cold regional and national headliners, people who've made a living at comedy for 15, 20, 30 years, and the first thing I say, dude, I can't afford you.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, you can. And this is what they heard about the show, and they go, I want to do one of your shows. I said, let's do this.
That's
So
great.
we've been really, really lucky, very lucky. And so we just kind of keep doing our thing, which is heavy advertising, big, huge believers in diversity, equality, and we try to have every single lineup match our philosophy. It's not always perfect. It's not always 100%. But the initial thought into every single show is those two components. So yeah, we're having a good time. Oholics Comedy Crew.
Yeah, check that out online. So you said you're on social medias and you do
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
advertising.
just,
Where can they find you?
Billy and Billy Chapman. We have we're so old school. We hastily put a Facebook page together in 2009, and now I have a Oholics Comedy Crew Facebook page that is very weak. Content is horrible.
I don't know. That's why I see a lot of stuff on there.
But
so
that's
I'm old
because
school too.
I'm typing and sending, sharing. But you'll always know where we're going to be. So that's the most important part.
Good deal.
So,
yeah.
yep.
It's great to hear a story like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of how what happened with us here.
Yeah.
It was just we kind of fell into it, and it was just like, all right, it's working. We're
Mhm.
getting great comedians that are coming out. We're having
Yeah.
a lot of fun. We don't give a shit who comes out. We don't give a shit what kind of comic
It's great.
you are or what kind of material they have. I always tell everybody before the show, I was like, hey, if somebody comes up here and pisses you off, and you walk out, the door's over there, and the door's over there, and the door's over there.
Yeah.
You don't
I
like
mean,
it too bad.
Yeah, I mean, you got to expect, I've done shows that were strictly clean shows. Very hard to do.
Oh, I'm sure.
And if they're that specific, but then you'll also find out some of these shows, wait a minute, that didn't sound very clean. So I'm going, so I can push it like there, so, but basically they just want, they do that. They don't want raunchy, really, really descriptive genital talk, and they don't want to have to visualize something actually going up a hole. and
Somehow that's worse than just saying it.
right. So that's where they kind of draw the line. Some of these clean shows, but they're great to work with, and they're fun, and hey, you got to do them.
Yeah, oh, for sure. What you been up to lately? Have you been out and about and running around Lansing? I know I seen you at Max not too long ago.
Yeah, still trying to hit most of the Lansing mics. The past couple of months it's been like shorter months, so I've had a little bit of trouble there. But yeah, traveling around when I can. I have like this super old 07 Chevy, and it is not doing great, so I can't drive super far. But
Are you telling me you haven't made it rich off comedy and bought yourself a brand new car yet?
I know we'll get there.
We'll have to change that. Book Eli. Get a hold of him and
man.
book him on some of these big shows, so he can make some money and get a car.
Yeah.
No doubt. But that's fun.
Yeah, this is I tell people all the time, especially if they're not in comedy. Some people are very interested. Like, oh my God, how's all that work? How do you do that? How do you get us? I don't really know. You just I see funny shit all the time, and I think funny shit all the time, and then I just write it down, and then I perform it, and it's not funny at all. So it's a unique club that we're in, that we get to make people laugh.
For sure.
And it's not every single audience, and it's not the whole audience, but by God, we're doing something right and something good, because there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in our world.
That is for sure.
And God, if we can just change someone's perspective for 2.5 hours,
Yeah,
we did it. We did our job.
for sure.
Yeah.
I like to ask people, how is it that you write? Do you sit down, with a pad and paper and pen, and you just write down like long form shit and take jokes out of it, or you just do like one-liner jokes and then move them into like longer premises? I mean, I like to ask people, especially younger guys, like, how are you doing it?
I kind of do all. Like, I like pen to paper. I like voice memos on my phone. I like typing them like on notes in my phone too. Like, I kind of do everything. I'd say more so like when I'm at work, I try to like do pen to paper, so that if someone asks me, I'll say I'm taking notes about work stuff. So,
Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, I kind of like it all. Like, I think the voice memos is my favorite, because then it's like I know exactly how long the bits are and stuff like that. I get exact wording, but yeah, I feel like I write a lot throughout the day. Like, you just like you said, you seize things, and then you're like, even if it's not like an actual joke, I'm like, all right, I'm just writing down this premise, and like I can make something funny out of that later.
dig something out of it a little bit later.
Yep.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah, man. And like Eli, same thing. You just I'll do a voice, whatever. I'll just make sure I get it down somewhere. It might be 5 words of whatever I'm thinking, and then the writing is a novel.
Yeah.
Because that's just me. I have lots of words to say, and then after the novel is written, then I start crossing off whole sentences, and then I get it to a paragraph, and then I get it down to, I think I can do this bit in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just an easygoing storyteller by nature. So to me, when I see one-liners and people that are like this, I mean, that's so impressive.
Yeah.
To me, to see them rip off, 15, 20 jokes in a 5-minute set.
Yeah.
I mean, that impresses me. And then crowd workers, that's a whole different beast.
Yeah.
And I love to watch those in action. I don't do it much.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if you've ever seen Mike Ball. Matt Riff. All right, everybody knows what Matt Riff is. He's a crazy guy on the internet.
Yeah, the meme. Yeah,
and Mike Ball is very similar to that. Mike Ball, the future of comedy, and it's just impressive. And Mike actually goes through almost his entire set talking and conversing, and then he pulls out his guitar and makes up a song about those people.
Okay.
And all the information they gave him. I mean, to me, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's almost kind of like on the cusp of like an improv comedy. I mean, you just have to really be like that.
Yeah, so that impresses me. So, I'm a boring storyteller, and that's just the way I'm built.
I haven't been really rolling in comedy long enough really to find my voice yet, but
Right.
I'm kind of leaning more towards that type of comedy where I'm telling more stories about what happens with my family and things like that I see, because it's the same thing for me to just lay it out and lay it out and lay it out.
Right.
My mind doesn't work that fast. I mean, I was born in the 70s.
That's right, and I was born in the 50s actually. So yeah, my whole upbringing was, watching Johnny Carson, late night television, all those pros that you saw come out.
I was going to ask you, what were some of your like inspirations? How long have you been doing comedy now?
6 years.
6 years.
6
okay.
years. I did a lot of comedy the last 15 years. I was in retail because my employees stayed the same age and I kept getting older. And I kept talking about the same shit 3 times a year, back to school, Christmas, and then spring.
Yeah.
Spring, the fashions. and I'm like, fuck, these people don't give 2 shits, because we're talking about signs and sales and signage and mannequins and, hiring people. How many should you have hired by this time? How many, just crazy shit that has to happen every single season. And it just got boring, so I just used humor.
Yeah.
And so that's really kind of where I was born. I mean, I had no problem speaking in front of people at all. My fear was not being funny.
Yeah.
And then I just always had a lot of funny shit happen to me.
Yeah.
And so I just focus on that. I do no politics, no religion, none of that shit.
Yeah.
Zero. And it's just funny stories. But yeah, that's how I got started. And I'm talking about old school, Nipsey Russell, Bill Cosby, all those guys, leading up to Cheech and Chong. Now I'm 10. Oh, these guys are really fucking cool. Like, I didn't really know what a joint was, but I really wanted to know what.
I wanted to figure it out.
And then and they were still kind of doing their movies, and I go, we can actually buy this big giant paper and put an ounce of pot in there and roll it. Let's do that. And,
That's great.
So all those old school guys, and it's funny to see clips of them doing clubs, like underground clubs.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Because what they do there and what they do on Johnny Carson is like night and day. And Johnny Carson, those sets were 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And so they just had to be clean for 3 minutes. And
that was still probably a little difficult, I would imagine, for them, especially, you get into some of those, comedians like Richard Pryor and guys like that,
yeah.
George Carlin. They probably had a hell of a time trying to clean that up.
Yeah.
And they didn't really, I don't think they probably had much choice because there wasn't a lot to choose from back during that time.
And I know Richard Pryor was sandwiched when he did his own comedy special or comedy hour or something. It was a weekly show.
Yeah.
And I know that he didn't last long. I think he just told him to fuck off. Really.
So how long you been rolling with it now?
About a year and a half now.
About a year and a half?
Yeah.
Now, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, so what was some of the stuff that you got inspired by? Obviously, something drew you into comedy. So what are the younger guys? Because I'm 44. So and I'm not going to ask you how old you are. We already said what date he was born.
I just started receiving Medicare.
But that's why I wanted to have you two on together.
Right. Yeah,
because it's kind of got a great balance of different types of comics and where we're coming from and things like that. So, but yeah, what was it that really drew you to it?
I always kind of liked being funny in the way of I have a dark sense of humor, and I love the idea of I can make a group of people half of them laugh and then half of them terrified or upset at me. So I always loved that. And I remember the first time, one of the first stand-up comedy specials I watched was Anthony Jeselnik. And I remember that was one of the ones where I was like, this feels like this is taboo, or it shouldn't exist or whatever. And I just loved it. So then I went down that rabbit trail, just got really into stand-up, Dave Chappelle. I like that a lot too. But I like the dark one-liners and stuff like that. I don't feel like I'm as good at that, but I definitely have a little bit of a darker tinge.
You got good stuff. I was impressed.
Yeah.
And I really don't know how long they've been doing this. I really don't. I mean, I do afterwards.
Yeah.
But he's got great writing skills and great topic. I mean, you're gonna do good, brother.
That's why I normally don't. Probably shouldn't be asking people how long they've been doing it, but it impresses me because I haven't been doing it for that long, either. But having all the different comedians come into Comedy at the Creek, it's I've had comedians in here that say they've been doing it for 30 years,
right? And
then I have the ones that come up here, like Eli, you say a year and a half,
right?
And it's just wow, and it's just and some of them, you're just it impresses me.
That's
what impresses me. That's why I like to talk to people because it's how the hell did you do that and develop that so fast?
Right, and it makes no difference at all because your job is to get people to laugh. Forget about what's outside.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Well, you're Joe Rogan. Nobody gives a fuck unless you're funny.
Right, right.
Just be funny. That's all you got to do, if you just go up there and stand there. That's why I love Kill Tony so much.
Oh, yeah,
Kill Tony is one of my favorite podcasts because you just see people from all over the world get up there and for 60 seconds, dude, and it's amazing that somebody can fall apart after 60 seconds, dude. It's you only made it 23 seconds before you completely fell apart.
Right.
I love showing that show to people that have never been to an open mic before. They only see the hour-long specials on Netflix and stuff like that. I'm once I show them that, I'm this is the perfect show because it really shows you people are actually good at it, know what they're doing, and then just people that are figuring it out or just are not good at it. So it's and you actually get to see what it's like.
For the most part, you know, I mean, especially years ago, leading up to, you had 4 people in the bar and 15 comics.
Yeah.
And you needed to get the attention of at least one bar person, drunk lady in the corner, whatever, because all the comics are doing this. They're looking at their notes or looking at their phone.
Yeah.
Some are paying attention. Some that have already gone on before you, you might get their attention. But, yeah, you don't get a lot of audience from 15 comedians and 4 people at the bar. And then a lot of times, you know, the open mic starts, and here's the people sitting at the bar. They've been there 4 hours.
Yeah.
They go, what? What is this? Oh, we're having a comedy open mic.
See, that
It's going to be great.
That actually terrifies me more. People ask me all the time. They're like, man, you go up in front of all those people and, you know, talk and do jokes and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know what? These people don't bother me as much because I don't know any of them. And they're mostly just in here to listen to some comedy. What freaks me out is going to the open mic when I know that the 15 people that are at the open mic are all comics.
Right.
Oh,
And I'm just
yeah,
like,
it's terrible.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
dude. Like, these are the people. Like, these are my peers. Like,
Right.
if you can make them laugh. Like, that's a whole different story.
It is,
right there.
and they pay attention. They ask you questions. Oh my God! Yeah. And the first time you start to hear people, that was a good set. Hey, I love that stuff. You go, really?
That means a lot,
Because I
yeah.
was
Yeah.
lucky and unlucky. My first time on stage, I crushed. I mean, 5 minutes of nothing but laughter.
That's great.
So I thought I was good.
So that's how it goes.
Yeah, I found out quick. Number one, there's a whole lot of people that are way funnier than I did. And then I started doing open mics and going, holy shit, I got work to do. Holy shit, I got work to do. Then I'd do like a showcase or what they call it, not a scheduled open mic, but you know, it's not show up and go up. It's
Pre-booked.
whatever,
Yeah.
pre-booked.
Yeah.
I don't know shit. But anyways, so the pre-booked, I start getting on some of those. And I'm going like, I was up there with Mylan Strohmile, who's headlining in one night stands this weekend.
Wow.
Josiah B. Jones, another headliner, travels throughout the country, does a lot of clean, does a lot of religion, a lot of church gigs, but he's busy. So these are heavyweights, and I'm competing with them for a bag of pistachios.
Right.
Pistachios meant nothing. I just knew that out of the 6 or 7 of us that were there, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I gotta pick it up. I gotta start breathing. There was so many things that I picked up on, and then lucky enough for people to actually tell me, dude, you gotta go.
Yeah.
I said, well, I don't know how to go. I really don't. Oh, yes, you do. And Tom Swan, another great guy, great mentor, helped me out tremendously. But there's always people out there that are going to help you out and give you a little bit of guidance if you want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people don't.
Oh, there's a lot of people out there that have, like I said, I've been playing music for 25 years, and it's just like, I've had so many people throughout the years that come up and they'll be like, well, you need to work on this, you need to work on that. And there's sometimes when there's people out there that just can't take that.
Right.
And they take it as like some kind of a criticism, like you think that they suck or,
Right.
you can't fucking do this, you can't do that. But it's just people that have that extra bit of experience,
Right.
that they just want to share a little. And
Yep.
it goes both ways, too, because you
Yep.
have a lot of those people that are just like, well, I'm not telling that young buck anything because,
Right.
fuck that takes away from me.
Right, yeah.
know?
And I was lucky enough for people just to approach and just say, do you mind if I tell you a few things? I'm like, no, come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to a guy 20, 25 years in, and I'm going, hell yeah, bring it. And the other people go, oh, you got to do more one-liners. I said, that's not going to happen. I can't even introduce myself in that amount of time. And it's not in my makeup. I don't know if you're biologically set, but if it doesn't feel good to you and you're just not a quick one-liner, let's get them drooling and laughing and spitting up their water and they're on their lap, then you're not that person.
Yeah.
So I just have always stuck with what I do best and try to mold myself into whatever the promoter needs.
Right.
and that's what you do.
Yeah.
It really is.
So I've definitely, that's what I was saying earlier. You know, I like having this show as a kind of a cheat code. You know, I just bring everybody. I've sat over there I don't know how many times over the past few months and just seen people come up here and just kill, and I'm just like, oh my God, I've got so fucking far to go, dude.
And it's a great motivator, and I enjoy thoroughly just enjoy doing what we do, and as soon as I can work less days and do more days of this, the happier I'll be.
For sure.
Yep.
And I've noticed the hosting definitely helps with me a little bit. Like, what kind of experience have you got so far from hosting?
This will actually be my first time kind of up here, so I'm excited because I've only heard good things. Like it's supposed to get you more comfortable and stuff like that. So I feel like my strong suit is my writing, but I feel like if I can get better at performing, I'll be a lot funnier.
Yeah, you've hosted. You've hosted Sad Clown a couple times already, though, right?
No, this will be
this will be your first time. Oh, for some reason I was thinking that you hosted once before.
No, I just did a set there last month. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah. Well, there you go. You know, wait till you get a little bit of the hosting under your belt. I think that helps a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
Being able to be comfortable moving around and like doing different things, other than just going up there, grabbing the microphone, doing your 5, and getting the hell off.
There's a whole lot more to it. I mean, I don't do any comedy at my shows. Zero. Yeah. I don't do any at all. I may be cute and cuddly for a second, just kind of, funny-ish, fat guy, but per se, I don't do any minutes at any of my shows.
Oh, no doubt. Okay,
and so it's strictly all about introducing the show itself, the etiquette of the audience, why we're there, kind of how Oholics started. I kind of bring them into our world, and then boom, it's only about the comics.
Good. That's great.
So we keep it. I keep mine under 5-6 minutes, and then we got a 10-minute, a 15, a 20, and a 30. Okay. And they're done.
That's great. Yeah.
So we keep them right at 90 minutes max, and I've never. And people go, and people, seasoned veterans, have different opinions. Like, dude, what do you mean you don't do? I said, well, number one, I don't write very much. Yeah. And I do a show every 2 weeks, and I don't want to test silly shit that I've been thinking in my mind before I bring on 4 comedians that we chose. Yeah. Like, these are the chosen 4 that we're doing the show with. Why would I take anything away from them? Yeah. By testing a new thing, like the $2 a quarter tank of gas and a bag of weed. I still haven't done that. I'm just not comfortable doing it yet because I don't feel like I got a great ending. Yeah. It's a great start. Bored stoners in the 70s, small town. Great visual, watching Sammy's legs dangle and hit the railroad ties, but I don't have a strong finish, so I'm not going to do it until I do.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, for sure. Definitely just work on that. But, well, cool. I mean, thank you guys so much for coming out here, man. We're gonna actually get this shit started. You can hear people coming in. We're going to be able to get this shit set up for a live show, and we're going to have Billy Chapman here tonight and Eli Klinger here tonight, and it's going to be a great show. You guys have anything you want to plug after this? I mean, when's Oholics coming back?
Oholics, our first day back will be July 28th, which is a Friday at Irish Tavern in Waterford. And our headliner is Billy Ray Bauer, national, regional headliner, travels all over the country. I think he actually makes a living doing comedy. And after that will be Prime 7. That's a Friday, August 11th, and that's in Commerce Township, and that will be Drew Harmon. And Steve Kaz is our feature. And the reason I remember Steve, because Steve and I have done open mics for years and years and years, and he's been kind of a fixture with Future of Comedy with Mike Ball for the last 2 years. He does a lot of sets, number one, and I bet you Steve has probably done 200 shows, and just really, really good. And forgive me if I forgot your names on the other. I know Kathy Ryan is going to be at Prime 7, seasoned veteran, and I'm going to stop mentioning names because I'm going to forget somebody and piss somebody off. Yeah. So, we're just back at it July 28th. For now, we just do as many invitation comedies that people want me to come on, I'm there in a heartbeat. And we're just going to hang out and travel and meet new people.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you? I'll let you plug Sad Clown,
Yeah, Sad Clown 26. You're on that lineup too, right?
I'm on
We're
that
both-
lineup.
yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not going to toot my own horn.
Yeah,
I'll let
we'll
him do it
both
for
be
me.
there, so it'll be a good time. And other than that, just follow my Instagram at Eli_Klinger. I post my show dates and jokes on there occasionally. So
Good deal.
Put them up on my Oholics. I'll make sure, because Jackson, I know just a ton of people in Jackson, so I'll help you get that show on the road.
awesome.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Well, cool. Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you coming on the Comedy at the Creek podcast.
It's been great.
And you guys get your ass here. The next show is going to be on August 12th. So if you're not here tonight.